Rick, the critic, when she come into your place, yo, you best not forget it. She gon' tell you how it is, cause she's Rick, the critic, when she all up in your city, yo, you best not forget it. Let you know if she like it, and if she get with it, let the whole world know and be the first to admit it. Let you know if she's good and if she dig it, cause she's Rick, the critic, Rick, the critic, Rick, the critic, Rick, the critic, she the first to admit it if she can't dig it, cause she's Rick, the critic, 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 Rick, the critic.
Hi, I'm Rick the Critic, and welcome. I'm so glad to have you here today and glad to talk with you. And we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. And oh, wow, you're going to listen. We got a couple of things to talk about. First of all, did you know, I didn't know, but did you know that fertilizer was combustible? So if you have fertilizer and it's not in a container and it's in the garage or close to your house, just know this, that it can start a fire. That's the first thing. I thought that was interesting. I didn't know it, and so I thought I'd share that with you. Secondly, let me tell you, this week was amazing. Last week I took a trip against my better judgment. Listen, my daughter said to me, my sister-in-law said to me, Rick, you ought to take, I had to go back to the South, and she said, Rick, you ought to take a trip on the train. And I said, the train? And I said, she said, oh, it's such a nice ride, it's comfortable, you can get some work done while you're on the train. You can look out the window, you can go to the observation room, and all these wonderful things. And she said that my brother had been on the train and that he had a wonderful time, pack a little lunch, take a little food, that kind of thing. So anyway, I got on the train, decided, so my daughter says to me, Mom, are you sure that you want to take the train? I thought, well, why not? Cheryl said it was a wonderful idea. So I get on the train, and oh, wow, it was like a nightmare. I am so hoping that Amtrak gets this tape, because Amtrak is kind of like the worst, not kind of like, the train is like one step up from the bus. You know what I'm saying? You know how you hate the bus ride? It's just crowded and it's smelly. The train is just a little more roomy, a little more crummier. It's just a crummy ride. Let me tell you what happened. I got on the train. First of all, the food thing, I took some food with me. I took some snacks with me. And when you get on the bus, and everybody, it must have been a beggars convention when I got on, because everybody on the train was hungry. So if you keep hearing me say the bus, or call instead of the train, it's the train. It's Amtrak train. I don't care where you're going. If you have to go back to the South, to the East, wherever, to the Midwest, do not take the train. The train is clearly the most horrible ride that you could ever take. Not, what I'm saying? The only thing next to it would probably be the bus. The bus would probably be the only other thing that I could think of that would be horrible. But anyway, let me tell you something. So I said to myself, okay, Rick, you could take the train. You can do some work. They told me that it was going to be 52 hours. I should have known. That should have been a red flag right there. But in my mind, I'm thinking I could get some work done, do some stuff for the show, blah blah. Anyway, so I get on the train. The first thing on the train, the seats are cramped. I'm a big girl, so get on the train. The seats are like this. I'm like this. And then you have to share a seat, because in order for me to do a sleeper car, it would have cost me like another $200 or $300, which I thought was really crazy. And then those are just like, the sleeper cars are just real little. So that was crazy. It was just crazy. So I get on the train, I get on the seat, and they've got these things where you can elevate your legs, and you can kind of, you could go back some. But the person in front of you, if they're an idiot, and let me tell you something, the train is full of idiots. Wait, let me just backtrack. I get in Union Station, that goes well, and it's like a mile or so to get to your train track and that kind of thing. We get on the train. No one tells me in the beginning that there's going to be a 10-hour layover. Don't you think that's important? Don't you think that if you have to sit somewhere for 10 hours that you might want to know that before you get on the train? I thought I would. Anyway, no one said that until we get to San Antonio, Texas, and they say, we got a 10-hour layover. And it's like, a 10-hour layover? Well, the 10-hour layover started at 10 o'clock at night. So, I mean, where am I going to go at 10 o'clock at night? Oh, you can go to the river rafting and all kind of stuff. No, I don't want to travel at 10 o'clock at night going anywhere. So anyway, now the train is. I'm irritated now. My feet have swollen about this big. The bathrooms are like this small. So you know what that was like. You know what that was like. Me going into the bathroom this small. Okay, it clearly is not queen girl friendly. All right, so you get in the bathroom and you bumping back and forth, and it's just real. It was a nightmare from hell. Okay, clearly. So I get on the train, and then you have these people. You know what? I don't know. What does it cost to take the bus? Because it was $266 round trip for me to go from California to Arkansas to Little Rock. So I probably should have just put a few more dollars with it and jumped on the plane. It was crazy. It was, when I say crazy, it was right crazy. But anyway, I'm on the train, so I've gone through the 10-hour layover. I mean, and if you have to use the bathroom, you got to go down the stairs. If you're not handicapped, you got to walk down the steps. The steps are this narrow. Everything. Is it just that I'm just so big? But everything on the train was like this wide. And then a couple of people on the train went to grab the handrail and they cut their hand. And two different people. A guy cut his hand one time, and then this lady coming up, she cut her hand. And the people are so rude. Everybody on the train looks like they don't want to be there. They act like they don't want to be there. They are just downright rude. I mean, you stop the person, go, I don't know what do you call them? They're not like, they're waitresses on the trains, like flight attendants or waitresses in the air. But anyway, they rush through and they hide their name tag because they don't want you to call their name. And if you do happen to get their attention, it's real abrupt. It's like, what do you want? Then they have these little, I think they're pillows, and they just kind of throw them at you like, here, take this, you know what I mean? It's just, it is less, it's the biggest chore to get one of them to stop and give you some decent information. Now, with all of this going on, you got a bunch of people on, and I took some food. I took some food. I took some chicken. I took some snacks. I had all kind of snacks. I had all kind of stuff. And can you imagine opening up your bag of snacks and you look over and you see someone looking at you like, can I have some of the, it was just, the hamburgers on there they were microwave hamburgers. They were $5.50. The hot dogs were $4.50. Everything was microwave. And then the guy, his name was Vinny, that was on the train, was the rudest person I have ever encountered. He would get on the radio, on the air, on the microphone, and he would have, he'd want you to come down and buy the stuff. And then if you could, now, I have trouble seeing, so I'm like, well, what's that? Just biting your head off. I said, you know what? And we'll send this tape to Amtrak, because Amtrak clearly needs to know that they're the worst thing on train tracks. They need to clearly go back and revamp their whole thing. They need to fire all the people and start brand new, just fresh, brand new with some people. They need some young people on there with some zeal, and and they act like they want to be there. You got all these old people that clearly don't want to work, and they're taking the job of someone else that probably would love to come on there and love to be, just service the people and be happy with the people. But instead, you got all these old people. One guy said, the guy Vinny that worked in where the food, the whatever they call it, the food lounge, he said he had been there 17 years. Clearly, he should have got out of the way. His job, I don't know if he had to work, but listen, let me tell you something, Amtrak. You need to revamp. All those people need some people skills. They need to all go into some type of training class. And I wasn't the only one. There were people that were all complaining. But let me tell you what else happened on the train. Oh, it was crazy. It was like the Wild West on the rail. We get a little further, and we got this guy on there. This guy is like, have you ever seen Tombstone, where the guy is in there and they're playing cards, and the guy is just, you so-and-so, yeah. And then Wired Up comes in there and says, and slaps him, and he just goes back in submission. That's what it was on the train. This guy is he's talking and he's just ranting and raving and he's come here, old man. You got chicken over there. Let me have some of that chicken and going back and forth. And then he's talking crazy to the lady and they finally took him. And what they did was they had to actually put this guy off the train. This guy, let me tell you how stupid these people. God, it was just amazing. And my daughter kept saying to me, Mom, are you sure you want to take the train? Are you sure? You know, I took the train years ago because I sent her to boarding school and I said one day I'd let her have come back on the train. And she was like, never in life again. But I'm thinking, because that was years ago, I'm thinking that, it's probably a lot different. Plus, I got stuff to do. It was a young kid and she probably didn't have a lot to do. But I've taken my briefcase with all my work thinking all you could do on the train is wake up. I mean, and then when you wake up, you looking for your purse. You're like, is anybody, I took my stuff. It's crazy. Do not take the train, okay? If you must, put a few extra pennies with your money if you want some comfort and fly. All right, we get to the place, and this is amazing. This guy is in the bathroom smoking. Clearly, he's in there smoking. The lady comes to him and says, look, he raises up, he starts cursing this lady. So then the conductor, the master conductor, and the lady, they come back. They're talking to this guy. He says, well, I'll just get off the train. Well, that's what you're going to do. They take him, they put him off the train in someplace. I can't even remember. And then we go on. Oh, we're driving. The kids, they got babies on the train that are screaming and crying and just a lot going on. And then finally I get to my destination. Thank you, God. I'm like, thank you, God. This is like a nightmare on Amtrak. I get to my destination and now I'm thinking I probably should try to put a few extra dollars and just X the money that I put on the train and just chalk it off. But I couldn't do that. I had to take the train back because my money was out there. So I get back on the train, I come back. And the ride was it wasn't any better. The seats, it was crowded. The air conditioning went out, so it was hot. Can you imagine traveling on the train? The air is out, and everyone is looking at you. The people that work there, and they're saying, we're doing this, we're pushing buttons, we're doing this. And then you go, to another car, and it's ice cold there, and it's like, wait a minute, what's wrong with this picture? But anyway, don't take the train. If you must, take the train, just be prepared that you will be surrounded by possible idiots. You might want to ask the conductor or if he can seat you around. I think the only people that might have, you know what I'm saying? Because it seemed like the car downstairs that was level with the restroom, those people there seem to be nicer people, seem to have a lot going on. And it said for special needs, so I don't know exactly what it was, but they seemed to be, the only people that were on the ball there at the train station. So anyway, we left there and got to Arkansas. Listen, the weather was nice. The people, everybody that I saw there was everybody that I needed to see. I took care of all my business in one day, which was amazing. Went out and had a look around to see the whole country is really, when you're on the train and you're looking, that was one thing, because the train shows you all the ghetto spots. Why don't they have the train that goes through something that's really, nice looking, some scenic? It says it has the observation car, but in the observation car, all you see are the mountains. You see some cows. You see a lot of poverty. You can see, you can see Mexico. In fact, some guys got on the train. What do you call them? What are those guys called? The immigration guys, like the police immigration guys. What do they call? Anybody? No? Yeah, but what do they call them? Enforce immigration what? Anyway, yeah, but they got on the train at 3 o'clock in the morning looking for someone. So they get on, the train stops abruptly, comes to stop. Then the guy gets these two guys get on, one about this tall, one about this tall, and they got their hands on their hips, and they're walking through, and they're not saying anything. So now at 3 o'clock in the morning, the train stops abruptly. You're thinking, okay, did somebody sneak on the train? Do we need to know something? I mean, do you want to say, you would think they would say something like, everything is okay, or so. They didn't say anything. At 3 o'clock in the morning, the train stopped. You start like this, and you look up and you see these two guys with their hands on their, and they're walking abruptly past you. So that was the other excitement on the train. And then there was oh God, there was a lady standing at the train station in, was that Sanderson? She was all by herself, and she had she had her her suitcase and all her stuff. She's standing there, and the train says, and goes just the train went right past her, just like she was not there. So the people on the train say, wait a minute, there's somebody at the station. They need to get on. So the train stops. And the conductors, they get off and they walk back to this lady, take her baggage and stuff and get her on the train. I'm clearly, I don't know what's going on, but it must be a sign of the times. But all I can say is this: if you got to go somewhere and if you got to get there and you can take your time getting there, you might want to just drive, and if not, if you don't want to drive, and if you want to take the bus, you should take a video camera because it's just comedy. It's non-stop comedy. I mean, if it were not, if I were going on, if it was something serious going on, I probably would have really kind of probably broken down and had a tough time with it. But because I had a destination and it wasn't, life-threatening, I could just look at it and just shake my head. So if you're thinking about going on Amtrak and you're thinking about going across country from California across somewhere, and you got nothing but time on your hand, take a video camera, because there's going to be some comedy. It's going to be somebody on the train that's real stuck stupid. It's going to be the people that run the business or that are conducting business on the train. They're not going to be friendly. They're not going to, when they walk past you, they walk really, really fast. And I can't say that maybe they're, crazy. Maybe it's just that the people that come on the train are so crazy that they've just gotten so numb to it that they just kind of got everybody in just in in one big ball saying, hey, they're all alike, and they're just like focused on one thing. But let me tell you this: you gotta take the train. You gotta take the train at least one time to get a chuckle. Because you won't. I know you don't believe me, but I'm telling you, it's like the Wild West. The bus I thought was the wildest thing, on wheels. But the train, hey, the train it hasn't got the bus beat, but it's the next step. So that was my big adventure. That was my real big adventure for the train. And I'm trying to think, where did I go today? I went to last week after I came back from Arkansas. I was just dead tired. I mean, I was swollen. My feet were this big. My head was this big. And my body it expanded as far as it could expand, and it was terrible. And it was very uncomfortable, and I guess the time difference and all that. But Arkansas was really beautiful country. I got a chance to see. Went to the farm and saw the horses and saw some ponds, and I got a chance to see some things there. They're doing a lot of building, and I saw a lot of building and a lot of stuff going on between there and Little Rock and stuff. So you might want to go. Arkansas is really kind of getting on the map. I always thought of it as a little, one of those little country type things, but there's a lot of things going on and a lot of big things going on. I didn't get a chance to see. Is Clinton's Library in Little Rock? What's happening with you guys today? You know what? Anybody? Is it Diana? Is this Clinton Library in Little Rock? That sounds right. Yeah. It's the Clinton's library is in Little Rock, and I'm told it's a very nice library. And with that note, let me remind you, November 8th is voting. Is it November 8th or November 2nd? Is it it's November 8th, right? Come on. What is going on here? Am I all alone? What, Diana, what's wrong? Huh? Oh, what's wrong, Diana? You usually kind of Brandon, isn't it voting? Is it November the 8th? November 2nd. Duh. Okay. All right. Is that too? That's okay. Do not, do not, do not forget to vote. I need, we definitely need you out there voting. I don't want to hear that crap about if my vote doesn't make a difference and if I go. We have got to vote. We cannot complain if we don't vote. I told you guys the beginning of this year, when I was at the Presbyterian Church doing the helping them out. I didn't see hardly anybody. I think I saw less than like 120 people or something in the course of a day. And we start at 6 o'clock in the morning and we end at 9 o'clock at night. And I saw possibly maybe 120 people. So November 2nd, it is imperative. You must vote. It is very, very important that you go out and vote. This is a very important election. We've been beat and groaning and moaning about Arnold, you know what I'm saying, and how he's done this and how he's done that and blah, 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 blah. Now we got Jerry Brown and we got Meg and you know what I'm saying? We got a lot of stuff going on. We got, we need to make some major decisions. I can't tell you how to vote, but I can stress to you that it's very, 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 very important that we vote. It's important. Our vote counts. We can no longer just kind of stick our head in the sand and then we get these guys that we don't like and they do all these crazy, they raise the taxes and then they do all this other little stupid underhanded stuff while we're looking and our eyes and stuff, our eyes are focused on one thing, then they got something else that they've slid past us and going on. In Arizona, they raised the taxes at midnight. Can you believe that? They had a tax increase at midnight. At midnight, they secretly went in and voted and had a tax increase. And the people didn't know that it happened until the news first thing in the morning, like 6 or 7 o'clock. Come on, guys. We put these people in office and then we expect them to do the right thing, but we don't make them accountable. We don't check behind them. And even though we have lobbyists and we have all these people that are supposed to bring back this information to us, we never get it. You know what I'm saying? We never get it unless something happens. And then everybody, we cannot wait until something happens and then just get, all up in arms and, want to go out and start chucking people because, you know what I'm saying, they did something that we didn't like. We've got to take some responsibility. Vote, 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 vote. I cannot stress that enough. We need the vote. Go out there and vote. Vote for the best person for the job. I can't tell you who it is or who he or she, but you need to vote. So don't call me up and tell me that we got this crack guy and now we got him and we can't do anything about it because he's, how in the ham sandwich did Arnold Schwarzenegger have time to make a movie? Did you see the movie? Did anybody see the movie? Expendables? Yeah, I saw the cameo, but how you have time to do that? Yeah. How does that happen when you're supposed to be in charge of the budget and California? I mean, how does that happen? And then did you see the Expendables? It wasn't bad. It was pretty good. A lot of action in it, and they had every old actor that has ever done. They had, Bruce Willis. I like him, but they had they had Bruce Willis, Mickey Rourke, Arnold, Sylvester Stallone. And who's the guy, the Dolph guy, the one that did Rocky? What's his name? They had him. They had, let's see, who else? I mean, all these. Oh, Jet Li. Jet Li was in it. Yeah. You didn't see it? It was good. It wasn't like excellent. I like Jet Li. It wasn't excellent, but it was good. I thought it was, it had a lot of action in it, and Sylvester Stallone didn't hog up the show. He gave everybody a chance. Oh, Terry Crews, what's his name? Everybody Hates Chris, the dad, Terry Crews. He was in it, and he was good. He had a real good, boom, 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 good part in it. But they all had some. It was pretty good. I mean, if you get a chance, you should go out and see it. That was good. I saw that. What else did I see? I saw Expendables and something else I saw that was pretty good. But that was pretty good. And then the Karate Kid. I like that. I saw that. Did you see that? Yeah, that was pretty good. I didn't think they could do a good remake on the Karate Kid, but they did. You know, I hate those remakes. I hate those remakes. I hate those part one, part two, part. They always usually kind of crummy. But Karate Kid was. He had a couple of little things in there, you know, that he said that I thought kind of made it for the movie. You know, what did he say? If I don't face this, you know, I'll be scared. I don't want to be scared, type thing. I thought that was pretty inspiring. I told my grandson, you know, that's something you think about. You know, when they get the bullies. You know, they did a summit in Washington on bullies. Can you believe that? All the money, everything that we got going on, they had a summit. And that's all they talked about was bullying in Washington. Can you believe that? They called all these top people from all over the world to come in and talk about bullying. I don't know about them, but in our day, when a bully came and attacked us or did stuff to us, when we ran home, your mother turned you around and said, if you don't whoop them, I'm going to whoop you. What about you? Did you ever have problems with bullies? No? Oh God. Okay. But that's what happened when our day, if we were terrorized by a bully, you came home, and when you ran home, your mother stopped you at the door and said, wait a minute, who are you running from? And you know, your eyes were big, and you like, and your mom said, okay, this is how this is going to go down. You're going to go right back outside. You're going to fight the bully. I'm going to stand there. You're going to fight the bully. And usually what happens is when you face the bully usually says, well, wait a minute, I wasn't looking for this. And then, you know, and then you whoop his tail, and then you go, you know. Anyway, so much for that. I've had a good time today. Listen, now let me close with combustible. Fertilizer is combustible. Don't let it sit, you know, next to your house. Don't let, you know, make sure it's in a container. And vote, 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 vote. And if you got to go anywhere, do not take Amtrak. All right? Nightmare on Amtrak. Thanks for coming in. I enjoyed you today. We had a good time. Did we have a good time? Yeah, we did. See, the Expendables is good. I'm Rick the Critic signing off, and talk to you later.
Rick the critic, when she come into your place, yo, you best not forget it. She gon' tell you how it is, cause she's Rick the critic. When she all up in your city, yo, you best not forget it. Let you know if she don't know and be the first to admit it. Let you know if it's good and if she dig it, cause she's Rick the critic. Rick the critic, Rick the critic, Rick the critic. She the first to admit it if she can't dig it, cause she's Rick the critic, 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 Rick the critic.